just remember being in this desperate place where I didn't care about anything else. I didn't care about entering into a relationship. I didn't care about nothing else. I just remember feeling this void on the inside where it was like I needed to know what my next step was. It was at the beginning of the year in 2017. That's just the place I was in. I was applying to medical school. I thought this is where God wanted me. But yet here I was, very beginning of the year, and I just felt like something else was supposed to happen. This is when I started praying to God for him to reveal to me, what's my purpose? What did you make me for? Like, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing? Long story short, boy, it's interesting to see how when you are entering into a new year and you are going after the things you are in need of, you're in dire need of. For you, that may be wanting to restore your marriage. It could be wanting to enter into a relationship. Maybe for you, it's purpose as well. Maybe it could be whatever, right? You're like, this is a new year. I want to start the new year doing the things that I know I need. The past 2 years, 5 years just felt like I was stuck. Maybe that's your story, right? For me, that's what it was back in 2017. I remember being in a space where I was praying like, God, you need to show me what my next step is. And he did. Within a month, he did. I remember being online and he just started nudging this book at me. And I read the book. The day I finished reading the book, I went to lunch with 2 women, and within that lunch, we started talking about relationships, and I just started seeing how they were approaching relationship very desperately, chasing men, playing matchmaker, doing all these different things. And I remember just feeling a bubbling on the inside, and I just started pouring into them like, this is not gonna work. I didn't even know I was coaching at that point, but I started like having this deep and passionate conversation about that's why it's not working out for you. You're both single, yet you keep doing those same things over and over and over again. And I started talking to them about like, this is how men operate. This is how women operate. I just started pouring into them. And at that very moment, God revealed to me, this is your purpose. That's what I've created you for. There's women who's in need of you. There's women who's in need of what you have to say. Everything you've been through till that point has been preparing you. And so for me, this was a breaking point. However, as we're talking about how to get everything you need in 2025, and if you're watching this in another year, it's still going to apply. Very, very powerful stuff I'm about to share with you, because as God gave me clarity as to what my year was supposed to look like, he gave me clarity around my purpose. What's interesting is how the enemy tried to steal it from me, how the enemy tried to block me. So I'll never forget, I was in this organization and I had taken a year off. I had taken a year off. I wasn't working and I was just focusing on me. I had saved up. I'm like, this is the year for me to kind of do things for me. I was working hard all the prior years, and so I had the time. I had the time to volunteer. I had the time to dedicate to ministry. I had the time to dedicate into just doing a lot of volunteering things. And I remember as I was praying within 2017, God was kind of showing me, he was nudging me, like, I want you to go into coaching school. And I was praying about it. God made it very clear to me it was time to go back to work. I wanted to start saving before I can go into coaching school. I knew that this is where God was calling me. He's made it so clear to me that he wanted me to get my certification. Even if I felt like I was already coaching, he's been coaching me through my own life journey. He's put me through some fire, but he's like, make it official. And so I knew very profoundly this is where God was leading me. And so I was excited for that journey. And this is why, if you've watched some of our previous videos, I keep telling you, make sure the people that are in your life, whether it be a friend, whether it be family, whether it be a leader, that make sure that you're not just going based on, oh, this is someone I know, this is someone I trust. You want to test the spirit. We talk about that all the time. And I remember this person, this leader, literally started getting angry when I told him that I was going to go back to work. He started getting very frustrated because my time was completely free for me to run and do things and, run certain program and be in the ministry, whatever it was. And I remember telling this leader that I was going to go back to work. This is where God was calling me. And he got very angry and basically was like, you need to quit your job. And I had started working at that time, and he started seeing how my time has shifted. You need to quit your job. And mind you, the entire year that I was not working, I was not compensated. I was not giving a stipend. This is not somebody who really ever supported me in anything. But yet, when I was walking into this place, the enemy set that person around me, because that's a leader, that's somebody that you trust, to derail me from going where I needed to go. And why am I sharing this story with you? Because one of the first things I want you to understand as you're walking into 2025 is that if you're operating with people pleasing, it's easy for you to just want to please everybody around you, you don't have the discernment, if you haven't healed from people pleasing, you want acceptance from men, it's going to be very easy for you to be rerouted. God could be speaking to you very clearly. This is what I want you to do in this season. This is where I want you to go. This is what I want you to do. But because you're so focused on wanting to please men, I don't want to lose their trust. I don't want them to hate me. I don't want to create conflict. But God's like, but I'm leading you somewhere. But instead of you being afraid of disappointing me or of being disobedient to me, you're more afraid of what people are going to say and the approval that you may lose from people. Now, I'm looking back at myself. I'm like, what would have happened if I had completely dismissed where God was leading me? Because again, God is spirit, and it takes a certain level of relationship with him for you to even have deep certainty that he's leading you somewhere, right? It takes relationship. Versus men, that's right in front of you, and you're listening to them, verbally telling you, don't go this route. Sometimes it's for selfish gain. Sometimes it's a spirit operating within them too. Because let me tell you something. We talk about this all the time here. If you have any doors open, the enemy can influence you. And I could literally see the anger. I could see the frustration. I could see the control spirit coming over this person to try to derail me from where God was sending me. Now, what would have happened if I was operating with people pleasing at that point? And mind you, at that level, God was still working on me. But I'm so grateful that within myself, I knew so strongly where God was leading me that I didn't let this person derail me, make me quit my job. And again, I'm thinking, who's going to pay my bills? Anyway, it's really interesting to see how entitled certain people can be. They won't necessarily, be in prayer to ask like, okay, I'm leading this person. What is Holy Spirit saying in this moment? A lot of people will operate under a control manipulating spirit, which is a witchcraft spirit. And here you are being derailed from where God is leading you. So the first thing is you're going to have to heal from people pleasing. Because like I was saying, what would happen? I wouldn't be here making this video. I wouldn't be here, coaching women. I wouldn't be here supporting couples and people who are deeply hurt emotionally and spiritually bound. I wouldn't be here right now. Because every step God asked me to take from 2017 up till this point today, it built upon itself. When I said yes to what he was calling me to do, he's like, okay, I can trust you. You heard my voice. Now, step 2, he would reveal something new. Okay, you've done what I've told you to do. Step 2, now I can trust you with step 3. Like my entire business, this whole Flowing Love community, our coaching space, like the work that we do, it was built from obedience after obedience after obedience after, and it's like new level unlocked, new level unlocked. Now I'm calling you to this. I'm calling you there because if God speaks to you and he asks you to do something and you don't do it, well, he won't speak to you again because step 1 hasn't even been completed. So people pleasing has gotten a lot of people out of the will of God. It has gotten them out of purpose. It has killed their dating life. It has killed their marriage. So that's the first step. How's your heart posture? So that's the first thing you have to ask yourself. Am I a people pleaser? How easy is it for me to be swayed into doing something that you don't want to do because someone you love and care about, right? Even if this person is not really operating with God's spirit within them, they're telling you to do something completely different. A lot of the time, it's not that you just want to people please. There's a deeper root. And for different people, it could be different things. For you, maybe you grew up watching a parent not having time for you and you just felt like you wanted to get their attention, and that could have been the root of you now being a people pleaser. Maybe it's a husband, you didn't feel adequate and you found yourself overdoing things to get their approval, and now you have these people please. So for different people it's different things, and for a lot of people they don't even know why. And so if you're watching this right now, you are in a space where you're realizing, man, people pleasing is killing me in every aspect. You want to be free from it. Send me an email. I'll give you a complimentary session where we can dive deep into your past experiences, things you've faced, so that you can be set free, right? A lot of you, it's because you're going through a lot of emotional pain, things that you haven't overcome, and you're feeling very stuck. And so this is the perfect time for you to enter into the professional coaching space, because I tell women all the time, I'm going to be holding a mirror to your face with love and care. There won't be any judgment, but as you're looking at yourself, you're going to be able to correct and make changes to some of those things that you couldn't see that has been holding you back. It's almost as if like you have this invisible chain holding you, but because you never took time to navigate what that chain is, it's gonna keep holding you back. I say all this to say, my email is in the description box. A lot of you ladies have been sending me out emails. For those of you who work with me, you know how beautiful and powerful the space is. A lot of the ladies don't wanna leave because having someone to talk to where you don't feel judged and that person can help you peel layers upon layers, and you start seeing within the first 2-3 sessions things that you couldn't overcome in the past 10-5 years. You already started, because it's all about results. I get my clients quick results, right? And I don't even want to say Holy Spirit does, because I'm just a vessel that God has called me into this space to bring emotional and spiritual freedom to women. So my email is here. Feel free to email me. The second thing I want you to do is to look back and reflect and see the things that didn't work. One thing I like to say is, a lot of times we are like, oh, it's a new year, like we're motivated. That's one thing, but a lot of people don't even know how to navigate the change they want, right? It's like me saying, okay, God, like, I just want my relationship to flourish. I just want, for my marriage to look different. I want to enter into a space where I feel good within myself, right? You have great intention. And the beautiful thing about the coaching space is that we don't just talk about what you want to do. We focus on the results, which is the how. How do you implement those steps? What do you need to do? And also, let's look deeper first to see what is the root of the issue so that we can actually help you overcome it. That's why I love this space so much, right? A lot of our clients, they go to therapy and they're like, oh, it didn't work for me. And I'm like, well, therapy and coaching are two different things. If you need a space to talk, and like you can talk to a therapist, but when you're looking for result, you're looking for future. We tap into the past, but you're like, I'm ready for some change. I'm looking for results, quick results. I'm looking for a shift. You step into the coaching space, right? So I want you to, and for some people, they can do that. They can look back, they can reflect upon themselves. But again, for many of you, you need a space, you need to have a dialogue with someone, right? So, but I invite you to do this, right? Look into your past, look into 2024 or previous years, like what didn't work? What are some of those things that didn't work for me? What's your weakness? You also have to know what your triggers and your weaknesses are. So for example, if you know, okay, I want to lose weight, but you're like, you know what? I love tortilla chips. I love, like chicken wings. I love, and that's your downfall. Like whenever you see those things, you jump into it like you're gonna eat it. Now that you know your weakness and you know what your trigger is, or you know what that weakness is, you just don't buy it. Okay, I'm not gonna buy chicken wings because I know if I buy it, I'm gonna eat it. Like you have to understand your weakness and what doesn't work. Like what didn't work. The goals you've set prior. What was the reason why it didn't work? If you just like, oh, it didn't work, 2024 went by, you're not gonna be able to change anything. You need to know why. You need to know why, because once you know why, you can figure out the how, right? And so I want you to take some time and do this, account for those things. And again, if you need to work with someone, you can always reach out to me. It doesn't even have to be me. It could be somebody else you choose, but make sure that the accountability that you do need, that you're getting it, right? Something else that I want to share with you is there is no such thing as new year, new me. The same sticky situations, the same situationships, the same drama, they're going to follow you. It's like you walking and there's poop on the floor and you didn't see it and you stepped into it and you're like, oh, I'm just going to keep walking. I should be fine. Well, guess what? As long as you continue to walk, you're going to keep sniffing it. Why? Because it's under your foot. You didn't do anything about it. You didn't wash the shoe. You just kept walking, right? So it's going to follow you. Everywhere you go, it's going to follow you. It's the same thing. The things that you have been navigating since childhood into your teenage year, your past relationship, friendship, like you didn't deal with, it's going to follow you until you take the time to say, okay, before I take another step, I'm going to take the shoe off. I'm going to pressure wash it. I'm going to scrub it. I'm going to put detergent under it, whatever you must do to cleanse it, to remove the funk, so that when you take the next steps you take, like you're set free. That's the same thing you need to do. But you know what's interesting? A lot of people don't want to take the time to face themselves. You have hurt that's been accumulating. You have pain that has been accumulating. There's disappointment that you've been facing. Your relationship with God is not where it needs to be. It's not up to par. But instead of taking a step back and say, okay, let me face me. Let me see what's not working. Let me see what's hurting me. Let me see what's triggering me. A lot of people don't want to do that. They just want to shove everything in a closet and keep going about their day. And this is why we keep walking into New Year's after New Year's with the same poop stuck under our foot, and it keeps arising. It's all around you until you take time to do something about it. So this is your invitation to say enough is enough. And for a lot of you ladies, and I can testify to this because 99.9% of our clients that we serve, that's what it is. They've reached a place where they're like, enough is enough. I cannot. It's not like, oh, okay, If I don't do something about it, I'm okay. It's like, no. They've reached a point where it's like, I cannot. I've reached the end of my rope. Something have to change. And I love it because these are the clients who show up into the coaching space. They do the work. We have a conversation. Their mind is enlightened and they take the steps necessary. Within 3 months, 6 months, they're seeing a shift. But you have to reach a point where you're like, enough is enough. I've done everything in my power to change things. It hasn't worked. Now I'm going to do something else. All those 3 things I've shared with you in this video, I want you to think about it and do something about it. Don't just watch this, save this video, share it with someone, like it. By the way, you're invited to do that. It costs you nothing to click on the like button. It costs you nothing to share this with someone. It costs you nothing. So I invite you to support our channel by doing so. I can tell you when I'm looking at my life now, I'm like, thank God. Thank God. Thank God I've reflected upon my previous years. Thank God I've made changes. Thank God, I didn't listen to people around me who were not operating with God's Spirit, telling me to do the complete opposite of what God was saying. Thank God, I took time for me to look inward and to sit with myself. It was not easy at all. It wasn't. But which is why I understand my clients when I work with them, right? When I work with a woman, I understand what she's facing because that was me. That was me. I had to face me. But there's so much beauty when you stop escaping. There's beauty in it. Now I'm looking at my life, I'm like, God, thank you. This beautiful platform that God has built simply through my obedience to support women, the amount of women we've been able to serve, the women whose marriages are thriving, the women who are entering into better relationships, the women who are going to work now, skipping inside of their job place because mentally they're free. It's like, and now with the spiritual piece added, people breaking free under witchcraft manipulation, people breaking free under, demonic manipulation, it's beautiful to see the power. Now, everything I've learned from my journey, when I sit with a woman, I give them the blueprint on a platter. That's what makes it effective. I went through it for 20-something years, 15-something years. And now that God has given me a blueprint, now I can just give it to you. This is what you need to do. You can walk this journey, but you don't have to figure out the steps, right? So I'm going to end this video here. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I invite you to like, subscribe, because a lot of you watch and you forget to subscribe and you don't get to see the next episode. And share it with somebody you know is a people pleaser. Share it with the person you know is not walking in their purpose. Share it with somebody who's like, I am at the end of my rope and I need to change. And may God use everything that was shared here to bless them. Because when you care for people, you share resources with them. So until next time, see you soon. God bless you.